Oh, a part of me wishes that this was just straight vodka. But hello, welcome back. We are back. It's Sunday. It's Sunday afternoon. And it's not much of a Sunday fun day as such, because the sun's run away, and so bring forth the endless storms, as it would seem. The weather doesn't seem to be looking to hold up very well, so yeah, have to pardon the sort of dark contrast. I don't even know why my face is so dark. I'm pretty sure I was brighter yesterday. Don't know what this is about. God, I've even had to switch on the lights just to improve the situation a bit. But I mean, Jesus, it's kind of clapped. I'm not gonna lie. But yes, we are back. We're back again for another ramblings video, stream, whatever you want to call it. Another stream of content of transfer nature to do with Manchester United and perhaps some other clubs, because there is a completely wacky transfer story that has come out today, which is completely taken me by surprise. I honestly cannot believe this, to save my life. But another piece of news that I cannot believe to save my life whatsoever is Manchester United, as you probably see it with the stream title, we're linked with Jordan Pickford. We are linked, genuinely linked with Jordan Pickford. I don't know how concrete the rumours are or what the transfer speculation is absolutely saying, but we've got a bit of heat and we've got a bit of speed in this. But we are hearing, and this is, I was hoping that it was just going to be this simple. If you're searching for a goalkeeper, just a simple run in. Go after Andre Onana, go after Maignan from AC Milan. Go after those sorts of guys. Diogo Costa. Pay your big bucks if you're signing a David De Gea replacement. But we're seeing Jordan Pickford, and allegedly, I don't know how true it is, but allegedly, he's going to be the option. Well, he's essentially the player, a sort of player that we're looking to sign, um, regardless of what happens with David De Gea. And that to me is it's absolutely baffling. Why we're looking at the Everton goalkeeper. I don't really understand why, because you're not improving on your goalkeeping situation, and I think the De Gea situation. You also have Dean Henderson playing on what happens with David De Gea's goalkeeping situation anyway. So none of this makes any sense. None of this has any rhyme or reason to it whatsoever. I don't understand it. And it's not even just the idea that we're being linked to Jordan Pickford. That's just completely mind blowing to me. It's the fact that about 45 million is the pricing that I've seen once or twice. I'm thinking, what are we doing? So why are we spending 45 million pounds on a goalkeeper that is essentially as calamitous, if not more, than David De Gea? And he's not even as good. It's not even as good. I mean, you see it for club and country with Jordan Pickford. Can't see it so much with David De Gea because the guy never gets picked for his country. But I mean, come on, seriously, what is this about? I'm going to move this over here because I don't need to look over in that direction. I need to look over here, and it's brighter in front of me, so even better. You can see my face a bit more. I mean, it's such low res as well, so it doesn't really matter. Plus, I'm absolutely just ridden with the sort of weird situation with the facial hair because I'm not fully like growing stuff out at the moment, so I do look really, really well. My facial hair is being really, really strange. It's not growing as fast as I want it to, so I just look like I'm incomplete. I'm incomplete. I've not made it through puberty. It looks like, Um, but fingers crossed that fixes itself up real nice in the next 5-10 years. God only knows what will come of me, or what will become of me in that sort of time span. But yeah, Jordan Pickford, no chance. I mean, if we want to talk about if I want to talk about stats and XG and expected saves and all these different, ramblings, but I don't really think have any relevancy as to whether goalkeeper's actually that good or not. But judging by 2 or 3 goalkeepers that we're linked with versus a goalkeeper we've already got in David De Gea. So Jordan Pickford has made most amount of saves, but he's got the lowest save percentage accuracy with 68.68. David De Gea is the second worst with 96 saves, but a 69.57%. So, I mean, sure, he has the highest net XG saved, but you expect that. You expect that for a goalkeeper that plays for relegation fodder. You'd expect that from someone like Jordan Pickford. You'd expect that. I mean, we had it before with David De Gea, where he looked like the best goalkeeper on the planet, hands down, because he was facing about 50 shots every game. So, of course, he's going to save a load of them. Of course, he's going to have absolute mad ones. That's always going to happen. The other 2 goalkeepers, Diogo Costa and Andre Onana, both in the 70% saving accuracy, with both of them relatively around the same amount of saves, with 58 on Diogo and 60 with Andre Onana. So, I mean, much lower XG, but again, XG stats. I really could not care less about XG stats because it doesn't really mean anything to me. Really doesn't mean anything to me. It's like David De Gea could be a fantastic shot stopper, one of the best in the world at shot stopping, but we're sort of past that now. We're sort of past the idea of wanting just a shot stopper. We want more from our goalkeepers. We want better depth. We want better depth in their game. We want better technical abilities. We want to have like an Edison, like an Alisson, like a Manuel Neuer sort of player. So, I mean, there's no other goalkeepers really out there at that sort of level, but goalkeepers, he's worth just going after the next nearest thing, the next best thing. I don't really know who for certain that is, but I can tell you for certain, Diogo Costa and Andre Onana, miles ahead, absolutely miles ahead of Jordan Pickford. I don't know what the rest of the fan base thinks about this. To be honest, I don't know how everyone else feels about this. I mean, you guys, if you completely disagree, you can let me know in the comments, or drop into chat and say something. I do like to hear what other people think about it, but from what I've seen with public reaction to it, is a lot of people completely just baffled by this, completely baffled. Don't really want to stay on Jordan Pickford too much because it's not really something that I want to be going too much in depth with, because otherwise I will absolutely lose my marbles. I mean, I've just seen someone else here. Man United wants to replace De Gea with Jordan Pickford, and just a spam of heartbreak emojis. And why not? It sounds about accurate. Hella accurate. But yeah, honestly, it makes no sense. No sense whatsoever. And I'm seeing something else here. It probably is absolutely nothing, because there's literally no source here. It is just this post doesn't even have any likes. But Bono from Sevilla, allegedly, I don't think that's got any truth to it whatsoever. So We won't entertain. We won't entertain that idea. Get out. Fake news. Fake news. Get out. But hey ho, let's go. Allegedly, apparently, there's another link to Adrian Rabiot today. Another rumor has come out for that. I don't know where that's come from. Gonçalo Ramos again has been linked, as well as Federico Chiesa. I mean, I like Federico Chiesa. I do. I think the only sort of amazing performance I've really seen from him was against England in the Euros finals at Wembley. I haven't seen enough of Chiesa to accurately describe how good of a player he is, but I know there's some good technical ability in there, so might be worth something looking at. Allegedly, a rumored pricing about 35 million euros. Don't know how accurate that's going to be. I can't really tell if that is an accurate valuation for a player like Chiesa, because I know he's still young. He's an attacking entity. It might just be another Wilfried Gnonto. Maybe. Might just literally be another Wilfried Gnonto. I think it's more the case that if he does sign it to a Premier League club, we'll see if he is better than Wilfried Gnonto. But not massively excited by that whatsoever. Apparently another rumour to David Raya yesterday, but I think we all know that he's heading off to Spurs. I don't think that's really in contention for debate anymore. I think David Raya is pending Tottenham Hotspur player, which is quite funny because I'd seen how Raya, I'd seen somewhere, someone somewhere had included a report about David Raya describing his ambitions if he were to leave Brentford, and he was talking about going on to win trophies or win titles or go compete for some of Europe's or the world's top honours in football, and then what is it? Several weeks to months later, terms agreed with Tottenham Hotspur. It's all talk, isn't it? It's all talk for the camera. All talk for the camera. All talk for the tabloids. Put what I say on the front page and back page, but then ignore what I actually mean. Lose my message in translation. You might as well slogan it like that. Another transfer. I'm going to get onto this now. Transfer that I'm completely baffled by, but I suppose you expect it.
Are these your socks?
Are they my socks?
Yeah.
No, they're not. I don't know where they've come from or how they've ended up here.
They go in the bin.
No idea.
They go in the bin because...
You turn my light off.
Sorry, I turned it off. Are you sure you want it on?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I'm doing a stream. And sorry. It's dark. It's dark on my face. You can't really see my face on the stream, so... Yeah. Family matters, but yeah. Anyways, we've got the light shining back on us. God said, let there be light once more. But yeah, the transfer rumour that absolutely it's come out of left field, completely caught me by surprise. Was not going to expect it. I probably would have expected it from someone like João Moutinho, because he's sort of at that age now. But one player that I was not expecting to see this from whatsoever is Ruben Neves. Ruben Neves. God, how old is Ruben Neves? He's like mid-20s right now, isn't he? Yeah. Ruben Neves, how old are you? 26 years old. So Ruben Neves could have legitimately shown aspiration to join bigger clubs in Europe, because I think he's got the technical ability to do so. I think he can slot in to quite a few European clubs with relative ease. But now we're seeing that the the Saudi Arabian steam train is now rolling it through some of the younger or mid-20s talents in Europe, and the first domino to fall seems to be Ruben Neves, and the fee that I can't remember who it is. That let me bring it up. I think it's Al Hilal. I think it is Al Hilal. Yeah, Al Hilal. So this was Fabrizio Romano about 5 hours ago. Al Hilal submitted a huge bid to sign Ruben Neves. Negotiations are underway as Wolves prefer to sell immediately after a long wait from Barcelona. So Neves could have gone to Barcelona and fit in quite well. I think he could have gone and fit in Barcelona pretty well. Like another sort of Rakitic type of signing. I think they're sort of about a similar level. So talks are advanced also with Neves, as Mate Moreto reported. He agreed personal terms with Barca in May, but no green light yet. And to be fair, I'm not really too surprised with Barcelona taking forever because, yeah, you got to raise money first. No more financial levers are allowed to be pulled, allegedly, with Barcelona. So, sucks to be you, I guess, Barca fans. You have to sell to buy. And all your transfer target. I mean, I suppose for you, it's a bit more of a fortunate thing that you're not having to take ages with waiting to sign players because of an incompetent board. Is because your past incompetencies have cost you so much money that the finances are coming around to haunt you again. But now you have to do the wholesale to buy ordeal, raise a certain amount of money before you get clearance, essentially, to go sign players. So sucks to be you, I guess. Sucks to be you. Sucks to be Visca Barca at the moment. But yeah, I would have said that Ruben Neves would have been a good fit. I think it would have been a good fit for Barcelona. But Al Hilal, about 55 million euros. It's funny to me because we had it last season, or last summer. Around this sort of time, I think, is when he was last linked. Ruben Neves was last linked to us. I think I'm pretty sure that was. Pretty sure that was when he was last linked to us, and that was about what was that? Upwards of £60 million, which we thought was quite expensive at the time. But a year later, I think it might be to do with the contract situations that Wolves are prepared. Have always had it in the plans, in the pipeworks, to sell Ruben Neves this summer. So that's probably where this has all come from. But no one's really been able to step up as quickly as Al Hilal have. But it's just how Saudi clubs are moving at the moment. It's how Saudi clubs are moving. It's not really too much you can do. Personally, whether we'd take him at United again, it's like what I said yesterday. Anything is better than Fred McTominay at this point. Anything. And Ruben Neves is in that category. So would I take him at United? Absolutely, I would. And best part about that as well is that Ruben can finally solve the dispute over the celebration. They'll probably have a massive punch up between Ruben and Marcus Rashford at Carrington. They can have a massive punch up and just be like, the winner gets to keep this, right? That's probably how they should dispute that. Just completely out of left wing. Who else have we got on the cards today? I think the Kai Havertz deal is getting closer as well. Pretty sure the Kai Havertz deal is getting closer. Sorry to some of the Arsenal fans whose standards are, way up there, like your league gunners, like some of your other Arsenal YouTubers as well. Sorry, guys. It looks like Shai Havertz is going to be he's going to be joining the True Gooner Brigade. The True Gooner Brigade, you know. Oh, this tea is bloody freezing cold and it's horrible to drink. Serves me right for taking the piss out of other clubs, but oh well. Oh well. But yeah, Kai Havertz. I've seen more posts today regarding Kai Havertz and how people are just honestly confused about what Kai Havertz was at Chelsea. And, you know, goes just more to my point yesterday. Completely just a mismanaged player. Ever since he came from Bayer Leverkusen, scored one impactful goal in a Champions League final and then's done nothing since. Literally, that's his only highlight in a Chelsea shirt. He's done nothing else whatsoever. I mean, that's a massive disappointment. Massive disappointment if you're a Chelsea fan, and probably not good reading if you're an Arsenal fan. Not good reading at all. So yeah, sucks to be Arsenal fan. Let's see what else we got over here. Oh God. Sheikh Jassim, sport washing. Please. No one was talking about sports washing with Manchester City or Newcastle. No one was talking about sports washing whatsoever. You know, Manchester United hated, adored, but never ignored. Man United might need De Gea gamble as David Raya makes transfer play. I mean, David Raya, would I take David Raya? You know, I don't think he's a horrible goalkeeper, but from what I've seen of him with Brentford this season, you know, I wouldn't be looking at him as a first choice. Maybe if he's an understudy to another goalkeeper, I'd be like, well, it's a solid backup goalkeeper with David Raya, but you know, I think his ambition is more to play first team, and I don't know if Manchester United is going to be his level. I don't think he would. Don't think it would be. But if he's happy to be said understudy, I would be absolutely just spamming on De Gea to leave, and as well as Dean Henderson, you know, get both of them out. You know, you can get David Raya in, who's going to be the understudy, and I think you use predominantly the fee that you could command from the Dean Henderson sale, and go get David Raya with that, with a couple of quid extra. I think a bigger lump of transfer funds would need to go towards the first team goalkeeper. But again, that solely relies on whether, you know, David Raya is going to be more happy or suited to being the backup goalkeeper, being the bench player, the backup option, which I can't imagine he would be looking forward to. But you know what? Can't really understate players' intentions, because you know, some players have good ambition, others not so much. Not so much. Tell you what though. Harry Kane training at Carrington in an England shirt is the closest we're going to ever see to Harry Kane being a Man United player, I think. I mean, if Manchester United are sensible and sort out the striker problems this summer, / during winter transfer window, we won't see Harry Kane come to Manchester United, full stop. We won't see him come here. No chance. But knowing this club, I can just see it already. To me, it's clear as day. Clear as day. So we'll break the bank for one striker, potentially Rasmus Højlund, or we break the bank for Victor Osimhen, one of those two, and we go without a backup, or we sign a ludicrously cheap backup. And the problem that, I'll tell you one thing, if we go without a backup, then Martial I don't think will be sold. I don't think he will be sold. I think he'll stay. And to be honest, I don't, no, no, no. Nope, 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 nuh-uh, no, no. Martial's got to go this summer. Got to go. Goodbye. End of story. Thanks for making Martin Tyler orgasm in a game against Liverpool on your debut. Aside from that, au revoir. Au revoir, Anthony. Au revoir. But yeah, essentially, knowing this club, if we don't do the job we need to do in the striker front this summer, then Harry Kane will join us next summer on a free. I mean, it's so predictable, and I think that's the downside of being a Man United fan, is that this board, this club, are so predictable with the long-term strategy on their transfer business, that you can just tell who's going to come in the following summer. And it's just like, well, why is that the case? If a player is good and you think that, well, the club you're supporting gets linked to him, you say, well, don't wait next summer. Go get him now. If you can't get him now, don't worry about signing him next summer, because you might have something else that you need to prioritize or focus on next summer. So why worry about speculation on a player joining your club when he doesn't join the summer that you're linked to him, but then it takes 12 months later to then sign next summer? It's just like, well, there's a year between now and then, so I don't understand why we need to speculate for 12 months. If Harry Kane's not joining this summer, he should not be joining, full stop. He shouldn't be joining, full stop. Maybe if it's one of those where we just don't address the problem correctly, and the player stays at the optimum level of performances, and you say, well, yeah, he's still a completely viable target. Go into next summer and say, well, he's still at the level that we need to go to, then yeah, go for it. Sign him then. But I don't understand this need. If you're not focusing, well, if your focus is to fix this squad in its key areas this summer, like right now, there's no need to be planning for next summer, because that's talk that we've had under Woodward. That's Ed Woodward talk. That's Glazonomic talk. And if the Glazers are leaving, why are we still talking like that? Why are we still talking about, well, next season is where it's really going to happen? Jesus Christ! I mean, it almost sounds like FSG. It almost sounds like FSG at Liverpool about the whole false promises thing, that you're building your fan base up. You're just about, well, this summer is when it's going to be really hitting off. So we've had this last summer. We said that last summer was going to be for Man United, was going to be the catalyst summer, where we see a wave of players leave the club on sales and a wave of players come in. A complete cultural reset. We sold one player last summer. We sold one player. We didn't, well, I mean, technically two, but James Garner wasn't really first team, was he? And he wasn't really considered at the time as Deadwood, even though I didn't really massively rate James Garner. It's such a frustrating thing, because it's so predictable with this club. It's just honestly so predictable. Just can't get my head around it. And the fact that we're sort of seeing, the beginning elements of just more of the same. There's more of the same from this club. I'll tell you another club who's sort of in a similar boat with how long they're taking to, go do deals and sort them out right now, and avoiding the speculation for 12 months before you then sign them next summer, or before you sign them next summer. Got to add the quotation marks to it, because that's what someone says. But we all know when someone says it, they don't mean it. They don't mean it. It's just paper talk, right? It's to sit you down, zip up your mouth, and don't open it again for 12 months. That's literally what it is. And it's so predictable. And it's like Arsenal, you finished second last season in the league. The only way, and this is the thing, that one thing that we've associated with Arsenal during Mikel Arteta's managerial reign is that every single season they've made progress, right? So he came in the half season, took over with a Unai Emery team, won the FA Cup, cool, finished eighth in the league. The next season finished eighth in the league with no trophy. So was that progress? I don't think it was called progress at the time. Then the next season finished fifth place. You were fourth place, and Tottenham were the team to beat to fourth place, which is something that you should really do. I mean, take lessons from us. Take lessons from us. When the pressure's on and you need to go and actually finish in a certain league position, or you have essentially got Champions League qualification in the bag, take notes from Erik ten Hag's United team on how not to bottle a top four finish with 1 or 2 games left. Now, don't get me wrong, Ten Hag's Man United team bottled FA Cup final and bottled the Europa League. Didn't have the cojones for it. Didn't have the cojones to go through, beat Le Football Heritage in Sevilla, or Europa League Heritage. Might as well just call it the Europa Heritage, because Sevilla is just a completely different animal. But Arsenal, it's like you were fourth place, bottled top four to Tottenham. That was seen as progress. And then the following season, second place, but it's progress, right? But now it's second place finish. There's only one place left to progress in the league, and that's first place. So you are pushing for a title now with zero excuses. So Arsenal have not been moving. I mean, Arsenal, Man United, both sort of moving in the same fashion, except for us, our targets are either we're even getting priced out of targets, or other clubs are just coming in and saying, well, come join us, our club's better. And players go, yeah, okay, sure. I mean, can't say no. Can't say no. I think if I'm a player and I'm preferring a move either to Man United or to Bayern Munich, I'm going Bayern. As clear as day, I'm going Bayern. I mean, I know that there's a prospect. There's a prospect to Man United being, being a promising project, and you might have a good manager there, and sure, Champions League. But think about the people that Kim Min-jae's camp has been talking to, for example. Think about the people that his camp has been talking to. Have Kim Min-jae's camp really talk to Manchester United's board or negotiators? Have they actually done that? Because it seems like Kim Min-jae needed one conversation, or his camp needed one conversation with Bayern Munich negotiators, and his heart was set on Bayern. For a league that gets promoted as the best league in the world, we sure as hell got completely slapped up by the amazing promise of what the Bundesliga is. The alleged Farmers League. Premier League streets ahead of Bundesliga. But a player would still rather prefer to move to Bundesliga than move to the Premier League. So much for that. That's something else that's gone up in smoke. But yeah, Arsenal again. It's like there's so many transfer targets that they just need to get in. Don't wait for tomorrow. Don't wait for next week. Don't wait for next month. Can you sign a player today? Can you sign him tomorrow? Yes or no? If you can, do it. There's no point in waiting. Just get it done. If it's an extortionate fee, decide, can we get this player, or is he too expensive for our capacity, for our operational window? I mean, for a club that has probably one of the biggest revenues in world football, I don't really understand why Arsenal can't be breaking the bank on players or having those sorts of £300 million transfer windows. They spent a lot of money already on Mikel Arteta. They've already spent a lot of money on him, but it's like you see progress in moving up the tables with every league finish, but you've not really actually gone that deep in tournaments. You've not gone that deep in tournaments. You've gone out pretty much in all of the competitions pretty early. Pretty early. But you're making progress, right? So you signed the players to get you back into the top four after getting rid of players who were originally getting you into top four positions. So we got players who Mikel could coach more easily, and builds this this team of absolute unbridled promise. This is the team that's going to take us back to the promised land. We'll win the league, we'll win Champions League, we'll win everything. So you had at the start of the season in 4 competitions, and where Arsenal fans probably weren't expecting to be, finishing second place, pushing Man City for a title. They probably were thinking, well, 4th place and a trophy. But the problem is that you got the 4th place but no trophy. So even now, this is the thing. You said, well, you probably say, well, 4th place and a trophy and nothing less. So I heard some people were saying that before the season started. So all of those people who are not saying get rid of Mikel Arteta, you've gone back on your word there. But that's those fans. I mean, some people were just saying, well, no, don't want Mikel Arteta here anyway. And I think he's proved yet again, for those people who don't want Mikel here, you don't want Arteta being the manager of Arsenal Football Club, those sorts of people, I mean, you've been proven right again. I didn't believe that Arteta could get this Arsenal team to win the Premier League. I would have at least expected him to have pushed for a trophy on the side, because I hear them talking about, oh, you got such an easy run, United got such an easy run in Carabao Cup. Okay, then, so why didn't you win it? Because you lost to, what was it? Was it Man City or Brighton? I think it was Man City in the Carabao Cup. I think, if I'm getting that correct, or was it Brighton? I can't remember which one came first, but somewhere along the lines, Arsenal for this season, the way they were performing at both times, by the way, both times you played those games was about the mid-season point, around about the same time, and Arsenal were, fans were starting to talk about the Premier League at that point. So you're the best performing team in the country. You're currently 1st place in the league. So why didn't you beat Man City? If I recall correctly, in that game that you played, I can't remember if it was FA Cup or Carabao Cup, whichever game it was, whichever competition it was, I sternly remember Manchester City were not that good. But Arsenal the best footballing side in the country this season, and some people are still saying that. On the basis of what? Got no trophies for it, but more importantly, is your manager chucked all those competitions away. So your Carabao Cup, binned it. FA Cup, binned it. Europa League, binned it. So with that expectation, the whole top 4 idea, it's no longer top 4 is the aim and a trophy. It's, well, we finished top 4, but we finished top 4 because we won the Premier League. We finished 1st place. That's the best of the top 4s. So then you bottle the league, you finish 2nd place. So now you have only top 4 and no trophy. So that's most of the Arsenal fan base who predicted top 4 and a trophy. Your manager has now under-delivered yet again. So that's based off the expectation for this season that we've just had. So next season, I mean, well, this season now, even though the manager under-delivered on all of your expectations, even though that happened, you still apparently it's one of the best seasons you've had since 2004. Still one of the best seasons, apparently. Some of these players that didn't win a single trophy this season would get in ahead of some of your invincibles. Well, yeah, I'm getting a bit confused with this. But they didn't win a trophy, so what, why is anything, why is there any consideration for any of these players in any, legends team or greatest of all times team talk or anything like that? There shouldn't be a conversation for that. But this all just sort of wraps around to what I'm talking about with the way that the board behaves and the way it has behaved for the past 3 years. Is that what the fan base? I mean, even with the club, with the actual club staff or club members, players, hierarchy, top four is the aim. And some of them will say, well, top four in trophy, top four in Europa League. So most of that club, most of the employees at that club have just witnessed Arsenal underachieve their expectations yet again. So it's either you're sacking the manager because he's delivered an abrupt failure. You're either doing that, or what you're doing is you're saying, well, the only possible progression that we can, put flex tape over, trying to plaster an axe wound, papering over the cracks, things like that, to instill the actual legitimacy of keeping or upholding your claim for progress, would be to finish first place next season, and that's your minimum target. Not even maximum. This is your minimum, because that otherwise you can't classify that as progress unless you're winning a tournament on the side, which the way Mikel Arteta has treated the competitions on the side. We're going off of history, right? Recent history, and recent history dictates that you want Carabao Cup. Well, that's too bad because you're focusing on the league. You want the FA Cup. Well, that's too bad because you're focusing on the Premier League. You want Champions League. Well, you'll just match up against Bayern and lose 5-1 anyway. You see, it's rinse and repeat, all in the name of progress with this manager and with this board. And at every turn, and United board are completely guilty of this as well. Completely guilty of this. It's like the spending habits, where if United finish in Europa League, there you go, 300 million summer transfer window. You finish in Champions League, you know what, we might save it a bit, about 100 million, 150 million. Why are you spending less when you can push this team further? It's like Arsenal. You're pushing for a Premier League title. Like, this is your chance. This is your time. You should have won the Premier League last season. You should have won, at least 2 trophies last season. You should have. For the way that this team got rated by fan bases, pundits, ex-professionals, whoever, the way the team was rated, I would, if I did not see, if I just read what people were saying about a certain club, and I did not read the league tables or the finishing positions, I would have said, oh, well, a lot of people got a lot of things to say about this Arsenal team. Fantastic football, fantastic team, getting into team of the seasons already in pretty much all positions. Okay, well, most successful team, or the most successfully acclaimed team in the league. Okay, then, so they win the Premier League? No. Oh, well, did they win the FA Cup? No. Or did they win Europa League? No. What about Carabao Cup? Did they even win any trophies? No, they didn't. they were spoken as though they had won the quadruple. At various points in the season, it had been spoken about as though they would win the quadruple, or that the quadruple was on. We definitely would have heard at least that being mentioned once or twice earlier in the season. But yeah, man, this board, the board of Arsenal, the board of Man United, I heard that there's a rumour about, Edu Gaspar getting the sack. I would say, well, good riddance to him. Because apart from sucking toes, what has he done? Seriously, apart from sucking toes, what has he done? What has Edu done? It's like Ed Woodward did absolutely nothing for this club. A literal banker. Left the club with his tail tucked between his legs. Richard Arnold, the little snaky bastard who I think is equally as incompetent, right? Turns around and just like, oh, well, we spent $1 billion, but I can't see it anywhere. So, half of it's probably gone and disappeared up your fat crack for starters. And the other half was pissed away in player contracts. So there you go. So it's like, seriously, this seems to be, if this ties in with what I see quite a few people who demand a lot from their clubs say. It all ties in. It's all under the same umbrella. It's all under the same umbrella. And in terms of the umbrella of mediocrity, under that umbrella, you'll see the crests of Arsenal, Tottenham, Man United, specifically those three clubs. Specifically those three clubs. And fingers crossed for their sake that Chelsea don't get added under that umbrella. For their sake. Because I can imagine Todd Bowley, who I call, Todd Woodward, or Ed Bowley, whichever way round you fancy calling it, that if success gets wavered away or weathered away, that Chelsea loses its trophy-winning culture, and that it slips into the pits of mediocrity as well. And oh wow, the seats are still warm here for you. Come take a seat. Come have a seat. It's warm. We've kept it warm for you. And that would be solely to do with the boards, and the boards don't get enough of the criticism. It's like Enoch at Tottenham Hotspur and Daniel Levy. Where are the protests for those two? Where are the protests? There are no protests anywhere. I don't see protests. It's like Stan Kroenke. How the hell has Stan Kroenke had protests against him to now suddenly there being no protests, and literally he's just disappeared? There's no banners in the ground anymore. There's nothing going on. We've already heard Todd Bowley out with Chelsea fans. We've already heard that. And to be honest, I can't really disagree with the points that they would be making to justify their need to call that. I can't really disagree with them. Fair play to them. They speak their mind. They speak what it is that they're thinking. All for it. I'm all for it. All the best to them. But it's like with Manchester United, just complete mediocrity from top to bottom. And this summer, it feels like we're starting to see it again. From the transfer targets to the lack of players leaving this club to the lack of signings. False promises where we hear in about sort of February, March, April, mega summer, war chest, all of the talks, all of the buzzwords and the language that fans want to hear, just to be sucker punched and kicked in the ball straight after. And it happens every single summer transfer window. Every single summer transfer window. Without fail. And Arsenal, same story. You finish somewhere in the league, go out there and push for that culture to breed success. But but there's no effort for it. There's no drive. There's no push. There's nothing. There's absolutely nothing. It's just like you sold your soul to the devil to make an extra buck. Man United have sold their soul. We need Qatar to come in to actually redeem our soul, to put the soul back in the club, to put the competitive spirit back in the club, to put us back onto a perch. Forget knocking other teams off their perch. I mean, we can do that as much as we want. But unfortunately, what City have done is they got on the perch and they've super glued themselves to it. So you can slap them, punch them, whatever. They're not going to fall off of it. Newcastle, they're building their perch, and sooner or later they'll sit on it. And they'll super glue themselves to it as well. And United need to do the same with Qatar. If Qatar come in, super glue ourselves to the top of the perch. Good luck. Good luck knocking us off. That's what because that's you're cementing a guarantee that this club would be competing and winning. And that's the most important thing, is that you're in a competition and you're doing everything to win that competition. And failure will not be tolerated. Tottenham Hotspur can't even, talk about or include Tottenham in a conversation about success, because they're probably one of the furthest things from any success. I know every single time they talk, at the start of the season or towards the start of the season, this could be the time we win a trophy, and then it just falls flat on its face. It never happens. It's just it is what it is with Tottenham, unless the fan base do start doing something about it, and your actions will speak louder than your words. And too much of this nature of, well, if I give up my ticket, or someone else will buy it, or if I do something like this, I've not bought any Manchester United merchandise for several years, not a penny. I would be buying a shirt every year, maybe multiple shirts every year, maybe more membership fees as well. I don't want to spend a penny until the Glazers are gone. But of course, it's me. I'm doing my part, because I know that me going off to a protest, it's not really going to change anything with a protest. But what the protest does is it's not actually meant to change the mind of the owners. It's to unify a fan base for a collective message. I know some people sit there in their golden palaces of, oh, well, those fans, they're idiots because, this board is great. I'm a real fan, even though I'll probably never go to any games full stop, but I'm a real fan because I love my club. They're not protesting, they're not just protesting because they love the club as well, because they do. They're protesting because they want the change that brings the best outcome for that club. It's like the 1958, and the amount of injustices with how some of the 58 protesters have been treated, and not just 58 protesters, but just other fans in general, protesting fans, manhandled outside of Wembley, completely banned from entry. Is the fact is that Man United have openly, very, very openly, actively tried to censor Manchester United protests, because they know how powerful it is in garnering more support from the fan base, because the protest is to get more fans on board, because the message can be collective. And I think the 58 had said that, look, the protests are all good and all, but it's actually a protest of just rallying the troops, and then collectively, because it's like they'll do other things to 1958, like the email campaigns, or destroying the reputations of Glazers businesses online with the business reviews. And if you spoil, if you're spoiling the the reputation for a business, it drives business away. It changes the forecast models, because a lot of people who will be first time customers to a certain business, they'll see if they see good reviews, they think, well, let's give it a go. If they see horrible reviews, well, I don't really fancy that. I don't really fancy putting my money there. So if Man United fans are trying to push to actually influence business proceedings for the Glazer families outside of football, that's going to get them to take notice. So the Glazers are taking notice of what's going on with the fan base. They are. Of course, it's not garnered completely the sort of response we wanted it to, or were hoping it would. That it would be forcing their hands. I'll tell you what, it's Joel and Avram that I think the most visually just like unfazed by any of this. But your other Glazer members, like Darcy Glazer, I think is the only other Glazer that's been most vocal about her disdain towards proceeding with Manchester United ownership. She wants to get gone. She wants completely out of it, because she knows that it's causing more problems than good. If no one's saying a thing, no one's doing a thing, no one's protesting, nothing, no email campaigns, nothing. Darcy Glazer is not coming out and saying, oh, well, it's about time we now sell up. That's not going to happen. The other three Glazers, they're not going to care, because everything is just business as usual. But unfortunately for them, it wasn't. It stopped being business as usual. It started becoming business is getting flushed down the drain here. Oh no, we are, things are looking a bit troublesome. The waters are getting really stormy. And Joel and Avram, they're not coming just for you, they're coming after us as well. And it's not even just the Glazer siblings who have stake shareholders, it's the families as well. Fans are going after the family members of the shareholders. That's completely mental. I could never dream of Arsenal doing that to the Cronkies. I could never dream of Tottenham fans doing that to Enoch or Daniel Levy. I think Ed Woodward had, protests outside his house. Man United had to release a statement. It turned up to the CEO of Manchester United's house to protest. Your safe space. What's that? It's your safe space. It's like the PSG fans going to Neymar's house. Same idea. Because it starts to spill over. Everyone else is getting affected now. But it's like you don't see Tottenham fans complain about it. You don't see Arsenal fans complain about it, because we're all in the same boat. But United fans have actually done by far the most. It seems like there's not much. It seems like it. But there's enough to really plant a seed of doubt, where if you're owner of Manchester United, you're thinking, Jesus, the amount of problems that not only I've had, but my family has had, and my business partners for the longest time have had. Is this really all worth it? Are these troubles worth it? Now the finances are catching up to us as well. So it's not even just peer pressure, it's financial pressure as well. You can't have it all your way anymore. Joel, Avram, you bloody scrotum and rat. You can't have it your way anymore. So get gone. Yeah, get gone. 18 years, too long. 18 years too long. So get gone. Anyways, I've been ranting for, I think, a little bit too long here, but moral of the story, right? Moral of the story is, it's all well and good us talking about transfers this, transfers that, all the speculation as to who's going to sign for you, who's going to, who's your club buying, who's your club selling. It's all well and good, but if we're sort of sat in this position talking about, or We're talking about our clubs, right? As though nothing's wrong or that there's no problems here and that it's all business as usual. I mean, with the way some of the fans behave at our clubs, we are literally, if trophy cabinets weren't, anything to debate, you would have thought that we were mid-table clubs. With the way that some of the fans behave, we're not. We're some of the most successful clubs in this country, and we should be demanding to be and act like the most successful clubs in the country. Tottenham, Tottenham is probably a prime example of being so deprived of, literally so deprived of success for so long, that all the people that really pushed and cared and loved Tottenham being successful and demanded trophies are probably all dead and in the grave. So who are all the fans in today's world? The ones who don't demand success. But some of the fans, right, and a couple of examples, names wise, a couple of examples: Henry Wright and Sava. Sava Talks Football, or Football Heritage TV is his channel. A couple of those who understand what the history or the long-winded history of Tottenham Hotspur is, but most importantly, understand what the precipice of competing in elite sport is all about. And Tottenham had done this before. They have won trophies before. So for Tottenham, it's not like, oh, but we want to start being successful. No, you want to return to being successful. But there's too many fans who don't want to return to success. They're happy with where they are. As long as they beat Arsenal, they don't care what happens. I don't care if we beat Man City or do the double over them. I don't care. I don't care if we do the double over Liverpool. I don't care if we go to Anfield next season and pipe them 8-9-0. Don't care. Could not care less. And I know people will say, well, you just say that because Liverpool piped you 7-0 at Anfield, and although they're your biggest rivals, you don't win a trophy for beating your rival, for God's sakes. You don't win a trophy for beating your rival. You remember it for a week and then you realise it's like Liverpool fans were singing and dancing and doing a trophy parade when they realised their team was playing on the South Coast against Bournemouth and Salah skying a penalty. They lost 1-0. So what was the point in the 7-0 then? Seriously, what was the point in the 7-0? Because it didn't move a needle. It didn't move or change anything about the culture of Liverpool Football Club, or it wasn't symbolic, because it just led to absolutely nothing. We still finished above Liverpool in the league. We still won more trophies than Liverpool this season. It just doesn't matter. Winning set like is so Liverpool double over them, Man City double, Chelsea double, Arsenal double. Do not care. Do not care. Does it mean that we win a trophy because we did the double? Did we win a trophy as a result of it? Yes or no? If yes, fantastic. That makes the double sweeter. That makes it sweeter. Now you can go back into the annals of history and rewatch those games. Now you can go back and enjoy those super sweet times and love every second of it and watch every goal back and watch those, compilations of skill videos, whatever you want to do. Go back and enjoy it, soak it all in. But to be shameless is to win nothing and to have irrelevant runs of form, irrelevant results against whoever it was, could just be absolutely irrelevant from top to bottom because you didn't win a trophy as a result of it. So fans should not be happy. Fans should not be okay with this. Fans should be pushing and pushing and pushing. We demand success, and you failed success. It's like Jurgen Klopp. I mean, Jesus, you take away this end of season run of form, to squeeze them into Europa League. What's the point in that? What is the point in that? Because you drop so significantly. Of course, yeah, sure, you change your system and start playing good football again, but Christ almighty, you drop so significantly. An elite level club, and this is the thing, is how I know that Liverpool's board is terrible, because they didn't act. They just said, well, look, Jurgen Klopp, because he's done amazing things for us. If it was Real Madrid, Jurgen Klopp would have been gone mid-season because you were midway down the table. He would have been gone mid-season. Does not matter if you were in the Carabao Cup running. It does not matter if you were in Champions League running. It does not matter if you were in FA Cup running. You were mid-table. Mid-table. They would, if it's Real Madrid's board, they pull the trigger on your ass. They pull the trigger. And they are searching for a new manager. That's just the nature of the beast with Real Madrid. That's how they've won 14 Champions League. It's how they are one of the most decorated clubs on the planet. Now, Liverpool, before FSG, I'm sure you were the same. You competed in a time where no one else was anywhere near as competitive as you, had all the talent, was one of the most sought-after clubs to play for as a footballer back in those days. A wonderful club at the time. Then FSG come in, and your standards have slipped. And then it was, trophy droughts. And then Jurgen Klopp comes in, wins you loads of trophies. Don't I say loads of trophies? Wins you, 4 trophies? So he wins 4 trophies, and then get to this season just gone, and you could have finished mid-table and won no trophies on the side. So you've actually regressed significantly. But that's just talking about success with a manager. So you could have sacked Jurgen Klopp with that. Could have warranted it. But then it's just like, it's a harsh sacking, but a sacking nonetheless. And the reason why it's harsh but warranted is because the board of Liverpool are so god awful. Anyways, I think I've got to wrap this up now. Should wrap it up because it is now 8 minutes past 7. Been streaming for a lot longer than I was expecting to. I was thinking this would probably be about a sort of 30 to 40 minute, because there was only addressing like one issue, and I've actually managed to just go off on a full ass rant on things nothing to do with Manchester United transfer news. But I suppose it's because it's all mediocre conversation, or it's all mediocre topics, that it all falls under the same umbrella. So there's probably a strand or a route into some of these other subjects, but it's just one of those things where you just got to push hard on the standards and really make sure that we are nailing it in the coffins of all of these people who accept this and who are okay with clubs not performing and saying to the fans, how you predicted that we'd be successful this season? Well, sorry, but unforeseen circumstances meant that we couldn't be successful this season. But we promise that we'll make it up to you for next season. But then you would realise, well, hold on a second, but you said that this time last year anyway. So if it's not true last season, why would I believe it be true this season? But some fans just lap it all up. They lap it all up. Jeez, spot there. Jesus Christ. The state of me. But anyways, I'm going to love you and leave you. I'm going to drop it there. As to what happens with future streams or tomorrow's streams, I do not know. I think it's just dependent on what happens with my work, because I'm either working tomorrow or I'm working on Tuesday. It's one or the other, because I know there's supposed to be some shifts change going on. I don't know if it's happened yet. I just need to get confirmation on that. If not, then I might sort of filter these down into shorter videos, because I think doing a stream like this, if I'm making these streams and I'm talking about things going off on a tangent like that, because that's just, I think it's just part of what I do. When I start talking, it's hard to get me to stop. So yeah, I think it's probably going to save me time and probably save you guys a lot of time if I try and just shorten these down into little videos where we talk about key subjects of the day, like the Jordan Pickford news that I've got in the title there. You know, keep it to, even if it's like 5 minutes long, just covering a subject, and just so that I say how I feel, what I think on the matter. Whether I think it's any good for the club or if I think it's just absolute mediocrity, and if it's a talking point in the sale, because obviously being United supporters, we've got a big club sale going on. So maybe something happens with that, because apparently I'm seeing, allegedly, just it's all just allegedly, because there's big fat NDAs everywhere, isn't there? So you've always got to question the legitimacy of any information that comes out from any party until everyone says the same thing. If everyone's on the same page, from back to front, from left to right, top to bottom, if everyone's on the same page, then it must be real. If it's one outlet, sorry, can't really follow one outlet who says that, oh, they've got sources. Okay, then list your sources. Give us names. Give us some names. Come on, double them in. We want to test. We want to test those sources and their accuracy. But yeah, like I was saying with the Jordan Pickford news, covered it in about 6-7 minutes at the start of the stream, and then just went off on ramblings straight after that. So maybe keeping them to sort of shorter videos probably be easier. It'd probably be much easier content to consume, to digest. Smaller bite-sized chunk stuff, and I think it's probably going to be better and healthier for this channel going forwards, and in just terms of time allocation as well. I know upload speeds can be a bit of a pain in the backside, but if the uploads are small and sweet, then I don't really have any editing software, so it's probably not going to be any editing to these to the videos whatsoever, at least for now. You never know what will happen in the future. Probably get some good editing. Maybe I'll turn into an absolute genius with it. I don't know. I've not done editing for videos before, so we have to see what happens. But yeah, I think we'll leave it at that. So yeah, thanks to all those who do tune in. Do be sure to leave a comment. Just let me know what you think on the whole situation. So to talk about the Jordan Pickford news, to talk about Manchester United, Arsenal, Tottenham, how those clubs are making you feel at the moment, with what you think about the boards and the situations there, whether you think that there's an incompetency going on at these clubs, or whether you think that the standards are too low. Whatever it is, leave a comment in there. And if you want the subject for me to cover in a video or in a stream, if I do choose to do a stream, if you want me to cover a subject, also do feel free to leave a comment in there. And apart from that, do drop a like if you watch this on playback, and do drop a subscription as well. All support is massively appreciated, whether that be just a like, whether that be just watching the videos, if that just be dropping a subscription, whatever it is, any support is massively appreciated and will contribute to growing this channel and starting me on a YouTube journey that God only knows where I'll end up. It's a garden path, but hopefully there's no poison ivies anywhere, and we'll see how things go. But I love you and leave you, and that is goodbye from me for now. Do keep an eye out for tomorrow. It might be the case that I do actually upload something, or maybe multiple videos. Maybe you get 3 videos tomorrow, 3 5-minute, 10-minute videos, whatever it is. Maybe you get lots of videos tomorrow. We'll have to see what happens. Maybe I'm working tomorrow and I just don't know it yet. It's one of those situations I'm trying to find out for the life of me. what is happening between tomorrow and Tuesday. So fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. I can't cross my fingers very well, so that's probably why I can't keep my finger promises going. But yeah, massively appreciate it, you guys, and we'll see you tomorrow or Tuesday. You'll probably see me both days because I'll probably do something on both of those. Goodbye for now, and we'll see you all next time.